Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing retirement visas, and specifically the insurance that's been announced will be required for retirement visas in the near future. Now, the first thing to take away from this video, just as a preface, we are not aware of exactly what the regulatory structure looks like for the retirement visa insurance, so all of this to some degree is speculation. That being said, it's based on some rather deep research on my part, and it also results from translations of announcements directly from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Public Health here in Thailand. So the thing to take away from this video is there have been some comments made, and the idea has sort of gotten out into the collective consciousness amongst the retired expat community that retirement visa insurance may not apply to those who are seeking extensions of stay within the kingdom and may only apply to OA retirees who are seeking their visas at embassies and consulates abroad. There's another there's another video that we made contemporaneously with this one wherein we basically go into specifics on visas applied for abroad. But I want to go ahead and go through this video because I think that the notion that this will not apply to retirees extending their stay in the kingdom in the future, I don't think that that notion is particularly logical to maintain. And I think based on prior announcements and announcements that happened subsequent to the initial announcement from Ministry of Public Health, I think it's safe to assume that, or should I say presume, that they're not going to strictly enforce this against those seeking visas abroad. So basically, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is put this up here. This is a copy of the announcement itself in Thai. We're going to go ahead and throw that up there. But I'm going to go ahead and read a translation that we did here in the office on this. And then I'm going to go through some analysis and some further documentation and some further articles that have been written since this time that provide a little bit more nuance and a little bit more clarity on how this is going to work. So the translation, and please note this translation is purely for informational purposes. We do not consider this definitive. And also note, this is a translation of an announcement regarding future regulations that have yet to be promulgated. So this is not yet written in stone, as it were, and you should basically take away from this video, these are concepts, but I think, based on what we're seeing here, I think you're going to get a pretty good picture of the policy thinking moving forward after viewing this video. So to quote from the translation, the Ministry of Health has added additional criteria to the end conditions regarding insurance for foreign senior citizens to reduce the losses cost at hospitals. The Ministry of Health has advised that they are setting additional conditions regarding health insurance for foreigners who have a one-year non-immigrant visa type OA. This was passed by the ministry on April 2nd, 2019. This is a new condition for health protection for tourists, which will also reduce the burden of unpaid medical costs for hospitals. Dr. Natawut Prasutsiripong, the Director of Health Services of the Ministry of Health, advised that following the decision by the ministry to increase conditions regarding health insurance for foreigners who have a one-year non-immigrant visa OA, the pilot program will commence with senior citizens over the age of 50 who have a one-year visa and can extend year by year in order to protect life and health of the foreigner, as it has been noticed that senior citizens in this age group have a chance to have more health problems than other visa holders. This condition has been set to protect the hospitals because some patients do not have enough assets to pay for their medical bills, making the hospital have to take on the burden of unpaid bills. The Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Immigration Department are now amending the relevant regulations and also agreed that the insurance companies arrange channels to buy the insurance online in order to provide convenience for foreigners. Dr. Natawut further stated that the criteria for health insurance for foreigners with a one-year non-immigrant visa type OA requires the visa holder must have Thai health insurance to cover them for the whole of their stay in Thailand, with the amount of no less than 40,000 baht outpatient, no less than 400,000 baht for inpatient. The policy can be bought online at http longstay.tgia.org. For those who have purchased a health insurance policy from a foreign company, must have no less than the amount of insurance as set by Thailand, and that policy can be submitted when applying for the visa. However, further discussion must be taken to find a method of inspecting the policies. Furthermore, those who have health risks which are higher than what the insurance company can accept, the insurance companies have suggested that an additional amount be deposited in the bank in order that the foreigner has sufficient funds for living, health problems, etc., while they are in Thailand. This must be further discussed with the Immigration Department and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's a direct translation. Now, I'm going to go back into that translation here in a moment, but let's go over how we've sort of gotten this notion that this probably will only apply to visas issued abroad, and then I'll come back and discuss my analysis of why I think that's probably an erroneous conclusion. So, ThaiVisa.com had an article. It's entitled Mandatory Health Insurance for Foreigners Aged Over 50 in Thailand, Why It May Not Affect You. Quoting directly, the new requirements which were approved by Cabinet in April and announced by the Ministry of Public Health, and they cite basically the same thing we just put up, the announcement, state that people applying or renewing rather than reapplying for a non-immigrant OA visa now need to have health insurance from either a Thai insurance company or from a policy bought overseas. Quoting further, the requirement for mandatory health insurance appears to only affect those applying for a non-immigrant visa OA. Extensions of stay are not visas. Most retirees who stay in Thailand do so on an extension of stay based on retirement. Extension of stay based on retirement is in quotes. A non-immigrant visa OA can only be applied for at a Royal Thai Embassy or consulate overseas. Anyone who has a non-immigrant visa OA typically applies for this at the Thai Embassy or consulate in their home country. An extension of stay based on retirement can only be obtained at an immigration office within Thailand. Now, I understand the differentiation of what they're talking about here. OA visas issued abroad are a different animal to some extent than an extension based in the kingdom. But from our translation of the announcement, it's pretty clear to me that this pertains to extensions as well. And I'll go into the exact language here in a moment, but let me quote further. There was a recent article in the Phuket News, that's thephuketnews.com. That article is titled, Cabinet Approves Mandatory Health Insurance for Long Stay Visas. Quoting directly, update, Phuket Immigration Chief Colonel Kathatorn Kumtieng confirmed to the Phuket News today, May 14th, that he has been informed of the new requirement, but that he has yet to receive an order for his office to start applying it when processing applications for 1-year non-immigrant OA permits to stay. Colonel Kathatorn also confirmed that the new insurance requirement applies only to non-immigrant OA retirement visas. Now, in that context, I believe what they mean is that category of visa or visa extension as opposed to non-immigrant B visas, non-immigrant O based on marriage, non-immigrant O based on having a child or another family member in Thailand, and non-immigrant things like ED, etc. So I think in that context, they're only talking about OA retirement category, but clearly we're talking about the immigration chief in Phuket. That's the person who's going to oversee the extensions of stay. So I think extensions of stay are covered in this. Quoting, or to go to another article from The Nation, nationmultimedia.com. This article was published May 16th, 2019. Title of the article is Mandatory Health Insurance for Retirement Visa Holders Likely to Take Effect in July. Foreigners, quoting directly, foreigners aged 50 and above living in Thailand on a long stay visa will likely have to buy health insurance from July onward as authorities are preparing guidelines to enforce new rules. Quoting directly further, we will ask the Immigration Bureau, the Foreign Ministry, and the Insurance Department for additional details and implementation guidelines next week, Sawapol Jongkittipong, who leads the Health Service Support Department's International Health Division, said yesterday. So a couple of things to take away from this. They specifically note the Insurance Department, the Foreign Ministry, and the Immigration Bureau. Now, Insurance Department, obviously, we know why they're bringing that up. The Foreign Ministry is specifically tasked with issuing visas at Thai embassies and consulates abroad. So that clearly, that's pertaining to visas issued outside of Thailand. And finally, they mentioned specifically the Immigration Bureau. So again, I think it's safe to presume we're looking at visa extensions, because the Immigration Bureau's job is to deal with extensions of stay in country for all categories of immigrant and non-immigrant visas here in the kingdom. The other thing that I thought was of interest in here is they said the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Immigration Department are now amending the relevant regulations, and also agreed that the insurance companies arrange channels to buy the insurance online in order to provide convenience for foreigners. So they're specifically noting Ministry of Interior. Again, immigration protocol, immigration services operate under the Ministry of the Interior, and they specifically, yet again, note the Immigration Department is amending relevant regulations. So I do not think it is particularly prudent at this time to presume that the upcoming changes with respect to insurance pertaining to foreign retirees in Thailand is only going to apply to those getting their visas abroad. To me, it looks like we're going to be seeing this applied to foreigners who are applying for their retirement visa here in country. That being stated, as the preface to this video stipulated, we do not yet know exactly what these regulations are going to look like until they are actually promulgated. So we will make another video on this topic as soon as that transpires.